Welcome to Headline Hub Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Kota Kinabalu, October 6, 2025. The city awakens under a golden sky, but beneath the calm, a storm of uncertainty brews. Sabah stands at a crossroads, its people debating their future in every corner of daily life. In markets, coffee shops, and homes, conversations are charged with hope, anxiety, and determination. The question looms large: should Sabah remain with Malaysia, demand true autonomy, or seek independence? Each option carries its own risks and promises. Decades after joining Malaysia, many Sabahans feel more like subjects than partners, watching their resources flow out while development lags behind. The wealth of Sabah's land seems to benefit others, leaving many communities struggling. The promise of equality from 1963 feels broken, fueling movements for change. Memories of past agreements and unfulfilled pledges linger in the collective mind. The Philippines' claim is mostly seen as an outside distraction. The real debate is internal. Sabahans are focused on their own destiny, not external pressures. Three camps have emerged: those for the status quo, those demanding autonomy, and a passionate minority seeking full independence. Each group rallies supporters, shaping the public discourse. Autonomy advocates want control over resources and education, not separation. They envision a Sabah that manages its own affairs while remaining part of Malaysia. Independent supporters argue only sovereignty can unlock Sabah's potential. They believe true progress requires breaking free from federal constraints. As these visions clash, the outcome of any vote is uncertain. The stakes are high, and every ballot cast could shape the future for generations. The world watches as Sabah's identity and future hang in the balance. The next chapter in Sabah's story is about to be written, and its people hold the pen. In Sabah, flags are more than just pieces of fabric fluttering in the wind. They are powerful statements of identity, belonging, and allegiance. Each flag tells a story, and every color and symbol carries deep meaning for the people who call Sabah home. The Malaysian flag, known as the Jalur Gemilang, represents unity, federal protection, and the shared destiny of a nation. It is proudly flown at government buildings, official ceremonies, and by those who value the stability and security that comes with being part of Malaysia. Meanwhile, Sabah's state flag, often seen with the majestic Mount Kinabalu in the background, stands as a proud emblem for those who seek greater autonomy and recognition of Sabah's unique culture, history, and aspirations. When both flags are flown together, it's a visual declaration of dual loyalty, an acknowledgement of being both Sabahan and Malaysian, balancing local pride with national identity. Yet there are also the rare separatist flags, mostly seen online or in digital spaces. These flags represent the dream of an independent Sabah, a vision that exists on the fringes but still resonates with some. These flags evoke memories of historical grievances, past struggles, and a desire among some to reclaim a lost destiny or rewrite Sabah's future. Every flag, whether official or unofficial, tells a different story of unity, autonomy, or independence. They are symbols of competing visions for Sabah's future. For many, the choice of which flag to fly is deeply personal. It reflects not just political beliefs, but also hopes, dreams, and sometimes fears about Sabah's place in the world. The ongoing flag debate mirrors the political divide in Sabah, turning every public display into a quiet act of protest, pride, or solidarity with a particular cause. In Sabah, flags are never just cloth. They are the front lines in a struggle over identity, belonging, and the future direction of the state. The tension between these symbols is a daily reminder of unresolved questions and the ongoing search for answers. Every flag raised is a silent vote for a particular vision of Sabah's tomorrow, a statement of what people hope, fear, or believe. In the end, the flag dilemma is the Sabah dilemma, captured in vivid color, waving boldly for all to see, and reminding everyone that the story of Sabah is still being written. Sabah's future is debated by a chorus of voices, each with distinct motivations and dreams for the state's destiny. In every corner, from bustling towns to remote villages, people are asking, what does Sabah truly want? Civil servants and those with business ties to peninsular Malaysia often support the status quo, valuing stability, federal benefits, and the economic connections that come with being part of Malaysia. For them, continuity means security and access to national resources. Older generations remember the security Malaysia brought after turbulent times and are wary of change that could threaten hard-won peace. Their memories shape a cautious outlook, prioritizing harmony over uncertainty. The The largest group, however, seeks greater autonomy, not separation, demanding the rights promised in 1963 and a fair share of Sabah's wealth. They want to see the original spirit of the Malaysia Agreement honored, believing it's time for Sabahans to have a stronger voice in their own affairs. They want control over resources, education, and healthcare, symbolized by the Sabah flag. For many, the flag is more than a symbol. It's a call for dignity, self-determination, and pride in Sabah's unique identity. Independence is championed by a vocal minority, mostly young activists, who see federal rule as exploitative and dream of a sovereign, prosperous Sabah. Their passion is fueled by frustration over unfulfilled promises and a desire to chart their own course. They argue that full control over resources could transform the state, unlocking opportunities for development and prosperity that have long been out of reach. The Philippines' claim finds little support. Most Sabahans see themselves as Malaysians, not Filipinos. Their sense of belonging is rooted in decades of shared history and national identity. External threats only strengthen the desire for security within Malaysia, reinforcing the importance of unity and protection under the Malaysian flag. The real debate is about Sabah's relationship with Kuala Lumpur, not Manila. It's a conversation about partnership, respect, and the balance of power within the federation. Sabahans are focused on their own future, not outside claims. Their energy is directed toward building a better life for the next generation, with hopes for progress and opportunity. The question is, what kind of Malaysia do they want to be part of? For Sabahans, the answer will shape not just their own destiny, but the future of the nation as a whole. The Malaysia Agreement of 1963, MA63, was meant to make Sabah an equal partner in a new federation. It promised special rights control over religion, language, immigration, and a fair share of revenue. Over time, Sabahans argue, these rights have been eroded by federal centralization. The Petroleum Development Act of 1974 put Sabah's oil under federal control, leaving the state with just 5% of the revenue. This is seen as a betrayal of MA63's spirit and letter. Calls for autonomy are really demands to restore what was promised, not to create something new. MA63 is now the rallying cry for politicians and activists alike. The debate is about honoring a binding agreement, not vague discontent. The answer to whether Malaysia is a true federation or a unitary state will shape Sabah's future. The shadow of 1963 looms over every political conversation in Sabah. Sabah is rich in oil, gas, and palm oil, yet remains among Malaysia's poorest states. Many Sabahans see their wealth funding Kuala Lumpur's growth, while their own communities struggle. The 5% oil royalty is a flashpoint. Autonomy advocates want at least 20%, arguing it could transform Sabah's infrastructure and services. They believe Sabah has subsidized the rest of Malaysia for too long. Federalists counter that Sabah benefits from national subsidies and large projects like the Borneo Highway. They warn that independence could bring economic instability and isolation. The economic debate is about control and fairness. Who should manage Sabah's wealth? Autonomy supporters envision prosperity through local control. Federalists trust in national stability. Any vote on Sabah's future is, at its core, a choice between these economic visions. The stakes are nothing less than Sabah's prosperity and self-determination. Security is a top concern in Sabah, with its long, vulnerable coastline. The Sulu Sultanate's claim from the Philippines is not just history, it led to violence, like the 2013 Lahad Datu incursion. Many Sabahans see the Malaysian armed forces as their main shield against such threats. Federal protection is a strong argument for staying in Malaysia, especially in the east. Independence raises fears. Who would defend Sabah from external threats and cross-border crime? The presence of undocumented migrants adds to the complexity. Federalists argue only Kuala Lumpur has the resources to manage security and diplomacy. Critics say the federal government hasn't done enough, and a local force could be more effective. The debate is not just about threats, but about who is best equipped to keep Sabah safe. Security concerns shape every discussion about Sabah's future. Sabah's future lies along three paths: union, autonomy, or independence. Unionists believe in the strength and stability of the Malaysian Federation, seeing shared history and economic integration as vital. They argue national problems require national solutions. The most popular path is greater autonomy. Devolutionists want Sabah to control its finances, resources, and civil service, while remaining Malaysian. This appeals to those frustrated with centralization but loyal to the nation. Separatists, a growing minority, see independence as the only way to end exploitation and unlock Sabah's potential. They dream of a sovereign, prosperous Sabah, modeled on Singapore or Brunei. These three visions, union, autonomy, independence, define Sabah's political landscape. Any referendum would force Sabahans to choose which path offers the best hope. The choice is deeply personal, touching on identity, security, and prosperity. Sabah's destiny will be decided by which vision inspires the most trust. Sabah's autonomy and independence movements are rooted in historical grievances. Many believe the 1962 Kabul Commission didn't reflect true public opinion, and that joining Malaysia was rushed by elites. Federal policies are seen as eroding Sabahan culture and identity, fueling mistrust. Political crises and the removal of local leaders deepened the sense of betrayal. These grievances have inspired waves of political and civil society movements, from the 1980s to today's online activism. Social media has given new life to old stories, connecting past injustices to present demands. For many, the struggle is about identity and the fulfillment of promises, not just economics. This historical echo gives today's movements moral weight and emotional power. If Sabah held a referendum today, independence would likely lose. Security and economic fears outweigh separatist dreams. The status quo would also be rejected. Frustration with federal neglect runs deep. The most likely winner overwhelming support for greater autonomy within Malaysia. This reflects Sabahans' dual identity, proud of their heritage, but also Malaysian. A vote for autonomy would be a call for a fairer partnership, honoring the spirit of 1963. It would empower leaders to negotiate a new deal, ensuring Sabah's wealth benefits its people. The result would show a mature, pragmatic population seeking respect and fairness. The choice isn't Malaysia versus independence. It's for a stronger Sabah and a better Malaysia. Sabah's future will be shaped by its people's demand for dignity, partnership, and hope.